I actually can't think of a specific movie or show just because I watched so much growing up. But I watched a lot of directors' commentaries and behind the scenes footage, and just seeing that like real people make shows and television, I think that inspired me. Rushmore, that was the first movie that I saw growing up where I was like, oh my God, like this person is like, they have my sense of humor, but I didn't know that this was my sense of humor until seeing that movie. It just like really opened up kind of a lot for me, because I think growing up, like comedies could be so broad, and I just wasn't used to seeing the kind of humor that like made me laugh and like made my family laugh. And then Virgin Suicides also, that was the first time that I really, I think, had seen young girls be portrayed in a way that I could relate to. Not that I was like on the brink of suicide as a child, but just like understanding how complicated being a young woman could be. I just didn't feel like I had seen anything like that before. To me, the whole point of storytelling is understanding other people and where they're coming from. And if we only have, the same 20 stories that keep being recycled, our depth of knowledge and empathy is not really growing. So, especially in a time where politically things are really polarized, people aren't used to listening to new ideas or being uncomfortable or just experiencing something that's outside of their own like daily lives. I think, diversity in storytelling right now it's important, just so that we can just be exposed to things and people and stories outside of our own bubbles. You first come up with an idea, you don't know where it's gonna go, and then as you slowly start thinking about, do I want this to be a show or a movie, you images come to mind, like scenes come to mind, but then there's a point where all of these things feel like they're coalescing into something bigger, and you're finally like, oh, this is actually like what I want to say, or yes, this story interests me or makes me laugh, or I'm fascinated by this world, but it's when you realize there is something larger that you want to say that's like encased in the story. I think that moment of realization is really exciting and like obviously like very clarifying. I think when you have to like kill something that you love because it's not serving your story anymore, I feel like I hang on to either images or like jokes or just like concepts that you want to jam into a story, but sometimes it just doesn't fit anymore. And I think that's always sad when you have to put something aside or, hit delete, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna put that into my next story, hopefully. I would say write every day and don't expect to always be hit with inspiration. Like I used to be really picky about like I needed like all of my snacks around me, and I needed like the lighting to be perfect, and I needed to be in the mood to write, and realizing that if you want writing to be your profession, you just sort of have to do it every day. It's like exercising. For every new idea I have like an email chain that I just email myself. So if I think of a new idea relating to that topic, I'll send myself an email, and then eventually I'll move all of that into a Word document or an FDX. So it's like kind of like cheating, it's like you're not starting with a blank page. I'm starting with like 5 pages of notes, and maybe the notes are like not applicable anymore or like nonsensical, but it always helps me feel like I'm not starting from nothing. I'd say 30 Rock. Snacks are my rewards. I drink a lot of like tea and water when I write, and when I've hit a milestone, I will take a snack break. Pizza. I have more of a savory tooth than a sweet tooth. I make a playlist for every project that I'm on, and depending on what it's about, whether it's music, period music, or like score or orchestra, I make specific playlists, so it depends. Both, but I think right now I prefer television. Hour, just because you have more space. What I've been thinking about a lot recently is past lives, I'm just like so obsessed with that movie, and I can't believe it's her first film. I mean, it's amazing. It's such a feat, and it's so emotional, and it's just about something that we can all relate to, you know, moving on from a version of you that no longer fits or that you had to let die. I just can't stop thinking about it. It's just so beautiful.